Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Kevin, and this is a 5-year review on my PRK laser eye surgery. I wasn't expecting the first series of videos that I put out 5 years ago to have so many hits and comments to them, so I figured this would be the perfect opportunity to go ahead and give everybody a follow-up to let you know how it's been going. Um, we are in April of 2020 right now, which is an interesting time. Everybody is quarantined and social distancing due to the current pandemic that is kind of sweeping the globe. So the fact that my life has been busy for the past 5 years, the videos kind of fell off and I didn't do any more videos. I tried to keep up with everybody to let them know how I was healing and to fill any of those questions that you guys had out. But now, obviously, there's a lot of downtime that we have, and I figured this would be the perfect opportunity for me to let you guys know how things are going. I saw a ton of questions that people have put into the comment section on all the videos. The first video being why I decided to do the PRK surgery, the day after the PRK surgery, a week later, 30 days later, and then it just kind of fell off at that point. I really wanted to do a 6 month, I wanted to do a 1 year, but again, life catches up, becomes super busy, and things just kind of fall off. It's nothing against any of my um, you know, own personal healing with my eye surgery. My eyes are actually doing great at this point. But yeah, this is an opportunity. I went through and I looked at a bunch of the questions that you guys had that I might have not answered before, and I figured I'd let everybody know. We are in April of 2020 right now. I had my laser eye surgery back in December 13th, 2014. So we are a little over 5 years past my eye surgery. A lot of people had asked uh, what my eyes were like before the surgery. I believe my prescription for contacts was like a negative 5.75, 6, somewhere around there. It was really bad. Really bad, meaning that if I needed to go to the bathroom at night, if I had my contacts out, and I couldn't find my glasses, I was going to be stumbling back and forth from to the bathroom and back. It was not pleasant. So my eyes were really bad. I had astigmatism. I wasn't able to get the standard LASIK surgery. So I wound up getting PRK surgery. And for those of you who are not familiar with the difference between LASIK and PRK, LASIK, they actually take the laser and go straight through your eyes, straight through the corneas. PRK, they actually take your corneas, they flip them back, they laser into the actual eye itself, and then they put the cornea back. And from my impression, the reason why they do that is because if you have astigmatism, your eyes are misshapen a little bit, kind of like a football from what they were describing. And what wound up happening is if you wound up getting standard LASIK, where they take your corneas and flip them back and put them back, there's a high probability that you are not going to heal properly, that you're going to get a lot of blurred vision, and it's not going to ever heal properly. I've known people in the past that have actually had astigmatism and wound up getting actual LASIK, and yeah, it was really bad. This one guy, Matt, that I knew years and years ago, I mean, we're talking 13, 14, possibly 15 years ago, that he wound up getting LASIK done with astigmatism. And I remember him saying it was the worst experience in his life. 30 days later, he wasn't able to work. I don't know what he's doing now. Hopefully his eyes have settled, or maybe they were able to do a touch up or something to be able to help fix his eyes. But the fact that, time has changed, lasers have changed, the way the doctors works have changed. I wound up, going to every place, and they were like, you can't get LASIK, you have to get PRK. I wound up obviously getting PRK done. You would figure that flipping someone's corneas out and putting them back would take a lot longer to heal, but apparently that LASIK actually heals relatively fast. Getting the PRK surgery definitely takes longer to heal. What I noticed a lot of people asked about was the bandage contacts. So after you get the laser eye surgery done, they put these bandage contacts over your eyes. I've seen some people say that they had theirs on for up to 8 days. I believe mine was at 4 days when I had them take them out for my post-op visit. And the people that had taken them out said, "Oh my God, did you notice that there was any blurriness or anything? Did your vision regress over that period of time?" And yes, it did a little bit. It was to be expected. And I found out that the contacts had a very slight enhancement in there. So while the bandage contacts helped protect my eyes for the first couple days, it helped keep things a little bit more clear and focused for me if I was actually able to open my eyes and stare at anything without the lights on. So when I took the bandage contacts out, obviously my eyes felt a little fuzzy. They needed to adjust a couple more days before things started moving forward. You know, there was a series of drops that they give you. There was like a steroid and something else, like a wetting drop. Believe I had to use those for about 30 days. It wasn't anything terrible out of the norm. You know, I wear contacts since I was a kid. I wore glasses since I was a kid. So all of these things were second nature to me. I figured, all right, well, I'm not wearing contacts anymore, but I can put some drops in my eyes. It's no big deal. Um, After about maybe 2 or 3 days after the bandage contacts came out of my eyes, I noticed that the vision did start clearing up a little bit more as the month went on. My vision really started getting nice and crisp. People started asking about halos or did I have any light sensitivity? Yes, I did have light sensitivity probably for about a year, maybe even longer. But halos, as far as like driving at nighttime, if anything, it actually helped a lot. I did not have any issues at nighttime with blurry vision or halos. I felt that, you know, driving back roads with lights on, lights coming at me from other cars, I didn't have any issues. I know some people may have. I'm sorry if you have. Luckily, I was one of the people that did not experience any type of halos. But the sensitivity to light, yes. I figured just like any other type of surgery, you know, you got an open wound to something, you're going to be more susceptible to anything from outer elements. So your eyes were considered an open wound. The sunlight is coming at you or any type of light's coming at you, it's going to take a while for that to adjust. 5 years later, do I have light sensitivity? No, not really. You know, sometimes I might be like, it's really bright outside, but it's also really bright outside. So it could just be the sun in general and me being a little turd about it. So yeah, I look at this point at 5 years later, doing a vision test. I think they were like saying the smallest line on the vision scale at 15 feet away, if you could read it, would be 20/20 vision. Clearly, I can go way past 15 feet and read that bottom line clearly without any problems. I live in New York City. I can read street signs from a couple blocks away, which is pretty cool. When I had my glasses and my contacts in, I couldn't do that. Now I can actually do that. Still 5 years later, it was the best move I ever did. Some of the people had asked what was the turning point on why I decided to get PRK laser surgery. And I had always been kicking around the idea for many years to get the laser eye surgery done. But one of the main tipping points for me was riding my motorcycle down the highway. I was in New York City riding down the FDR and I was on my bike. And as I was going down the road, 50 miles an hour, whatever the case may be, one of my contacts wound up flying out of my eye. And now I was on my motorcycle on a highway in New York, not being able to see properly. It was one of the scariest experiences of my life. And at that point, I knew, screw this, I need to get my eyes done. I wound up going to a couple different places. You know, I looked online just like everybody else does. I looked on other people's YouTube videos to see what their experiences were. And I started shopping around. Not shopping around from price, shopping around for quality. That was one of my main things. These are my eyes. You know, I'm a photographer. I do other things for a living as well. And one of the main things was I wanted to make sure that I wasn't sacrificing something that could potentially screw my own personal living because I tried skimping out and saving a buck. I went to a couple different places. The prices were relatively inexpensive. They had all these deals that they were trying to throw at you. I had tons of questions. Some of the places I walked into, the person that was doing your intake was also the person that was doing the financing questions, that was doing the eye exam and everything else. And I just felt like some of these places were like a sandwich factory that were only there to kind of churn out clients. There were a ton of people that were in the waiting room. The waiting room is huge. And, I think it was a chain. They have a bunch of different places, either in the city, Long Island, other states. And I felt like the questions that I have weren't necessarily getting answered more than them just being like, hey, when do you want to start this? Um, I asked about talking to the doctor because I had questions that they might be able to answer, and it was just getting shut down. So, price, but trying to walk out the door, people trying to give you even a cheaper deal just to be able to try to get you land that day. I wasn't really into it. I went to another place, kind of felt like that as well. And then I landed on this place, NY 2020. The doctor's name is Dr. Ken Moadel. I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. I noticed in a lot of the videos, people kept on asking who was the surgeon that wound up doing my eyes. And it was Dr. Ken Moadel, Moadel. He is based in Manhattan, in New York City. I believe he's at 110 East 40th Street in the city. It's like Midtown Park Avenue area. I am no way affiliated with this company. I am not sponsored. They have not told me to do this video as a follow-up. This is just my own personal experience from this. So if you guys want to seek this company out, great. If you want to seek other companies out, awesome as well. It's your life, it's your vision. Do what you feel is the most comfortable scenario for you. But I went to NY 2020. The moment that I walked in, the place was great. The reception area was really nice. There was a person that did the intake. They had a waiting room for the consultation to be able to talk to them. There were snacks in there while I was waiting. There was a person that took me in to do the eye exam. After the eye exam, they walked me into the room that actually had the laser for doing the eye surgery. And the doctor was there. I was able to ask him questions that I had that I was concerned about, and he was able to answer all of my questions. It was nice to be able to see not necessarily the process, but the machine and how clean the room was. I came from over 20 years in the tattoo industry, and also in laser removal for tattoos. And one of the things that I always want to make sure is cleanliness and having an aseptical environment. And I really like the fact that that room felt sterile and clinical. It's my eyes. That's 100% one of the things that I want to make sure it doesn't feel like a back alley chop shop. So after that, they wound up walking you to the room, talked to you about the pricing. I let them know that, I obviously had been shopping around, but not necessarily for pricing. I was looking for quality. They were able to answer a lot of my questions. The price was a bit higher than what I had been quoted at other places before. But again, I was going for quality. I had seeked this place out because they had a ton of reviews online from people who really spoke high praises of them. They were very reputable to work with a lot of different sports teams, ball players, to be able to do their eyes as well. So clearly when, these surgeons are working on ball players that have multi-million-dollar contracts, it's probably going to be a legit place. So we wound up talking. They explained to me that the astigmatism with the PRK was the route that I needed to go. I was at a borderline area of where most places even said that if my eyes were a little bit worse, they would be hesitant on wanting to do them. But I was right at that cusp where they felt that I should be able to have good results without any type of problems. And they were honest with that. They weren't trying to be like, oh no, we shouldn't do it, but we're going to, or no, you're a great candidate. They let me know straight up, what was going on. And I kind of knew that anyway. But they offered me something called Care Credit. Care Credit was really cool because it offered like financing. I think it was like 6 months, no finance rate, interest, or anything like that on there. They knocked the price down a little bit for me because I guess I did let them know that I was shopping around and was talking to a couple different places. So I believe they knocked the price from the PRK surgery to the LASIK surgery price. And this was 5 years ago. I think I paid maybe around $4,000. It could have been less. It could have been more. I honestly don't remember. It's been 5 years. I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. So I know it was a good bit of money. And the Care Credit was awesome. They let me know I went in there, I wore my glasses. I knew that the concept was if I were to actually have my surgery done, that I would need to have my contacts out for a period of time. So they had let me know, keep your contacts out, leave your glasses in. I told them obviously I was going to do this. So we scheduled, I believe, for about a week or two later after having the initial consultation with the company. Um, I tried to get everything in order. I wanted to be able to talk to people as far as, what their experiences were. Clearly, I'm doing a lot more research on my own because I want to make sure that, I'm not going to be left without my vision. And it's a big move. It's a really big move to have someone take lasers to your eyes, especially with some of the reviews out there where people said that things went horribly wrong for them. There is that what if chance. Was it going to happen to me? I just tried to push all that negativity out and tried to focus on the really good reviews that I was seeing all around the board, not just with that company, just in general, where people were saying that it was one of the best moves that they did in their life. And that was one of the things I had to focus on. So I wound up having the surgery done. That was December 13, 2014. My wife went down with me to the location. I was probably in and out of the place, maybe in less than 2 hours. You go in, you go into the intake room, they give you a little bit of Valium to be able to calm you down. Once you feel nice and relaxed, they take you into the room, they walk you through the process. You look through this machine to look at the dot that goes through the laser that you have to stare at this thing, and there's like this weird clockwork orange thing that's kind of gripping your eye to make sure that you're not going to blink. Everybody was really nice. I think I remember someone holding my hand in there, and just to be able to help keep me calm. And as odd as it sounds, it was very comforting to know that they had the right amount of people in the room to make sure the job was getting done to where I felt comfortable. Um, the surgery itself probably took maybe a minute or less per eye. And then after the surgery, I get taken into like a lounge room so that way I could relax. It was really dark in there. I had taken my own glasses. I know a lot of people had asked in the videos, oh, what were these glasses that they gave you? They had actually just suggested for me to bring my own really dark tinted glasses. And that's what I did. So I put on those glasses. My eyes right after the surgery, I mean, within a minute, they put the bandage contacts in my eyes, and I remember seeing clearly across the room there was a clock in the room, and I could read the clock without my glasses in or anything like that. And it was just those bandage protection contacts in, obviously to protect you from outer elements. And I was like, whoa, this is insane. So as the minutes are going by and like it's now like a half hour later, my eyes are starting to feel strained. My eyes won't stop watering. It's very common. Obviously there was lasers taken to your eyes and this is all normal, they said. So I go to leave. My wife is helping me walk out of the place. They had this donation bowl where people could donate all their like glasses and contacts that they weren't using anymore. On your way out the door, I dropped my glasses and contacts in there. I think they like donate them to different charities for people that might need them. So I like dropped them in a jar, hopped in a cab. We went home. The first couple nights was relatively miserable. Your eyes feel like you got insulation put in your eyes. Like it just feels very scratchy, like something scratched your eye. So once you can kind of get through that, you just realize there's no watching TV, there's no looking at your phone. Audiobooks, one of the smartest moves that I can tell everybody is download a ton of audiobooks. That helped me through the first couple of days, simply for the fact that even trying to squint with sunglasses on in the complete dark, trying to look at my phone with the brightness all the way down wasn't going to happen. Anything was too bright, at least for that first day. The second day, it was a little bit better. And then as the days go on, it progressed a little bit better. But yeah, expect the first couple of days, it's going to be pretty rough. As time went on and the bandage contacts went out, the fuzziness came back a little bit, but then it started coming back a lot more. My vision started coming back a little bit more. Things started crisping up. Around 30 days, I noticed that my vision was super crisp. From 1 month to 6 months, it was spot on. I felt like my eyes had been transplanted from somebody that had amazing laser eyes from some other world, like it was insane. And then as 6 months to a year went by, I noticed some settling, which was also normal. The settling was just my eyes kind of adjusting to life and the elements. And then from that point, my eyes have stayed the same. Um, a lot of people said, like, did I notice any issues as time went on with like dryness or dry eye? No, I followed the healing regimen that I had, that the doctors had given me, which was basically just make sure that I was using these drops for the right amount of time. Obviously, no rubbing or scratching my eyes, keep the bandage contacts in, and then just live life normally but carefully for the first, month or so. And I did. They're my eyes. I wanted to protect them. I wanted to be able to, have a sound investment into this. So there was no screwing around. I was not going to screw around with this at all. Um, People kept on asking questions, especially with having astigmatism. Why did you do both eyes at the same time as opposed to not doing just one and letting it heal? And even the place said when I went in for surgery, would I suggest wanting to do, or they would suggest me wanting to maybe do one at a time, about a week or two apart. And for me, it was just easier for me to take time off of work to be able to rest and heal them both at the same time. I didn't plan on going anywhere. I didn't have any trips planned. So it was the smartest move for me to just deal with it all at one time. So if you can afford to do that, I would definitely suggest you doing the same. It makes a lot of sense just to knock it out. I don't think personally I would have wanted to do one, deal with the irritation of everything, and then doing another one a week or two later. I would have probably been like, now screw that. Let's wait another month or so until I could like muster up the nerve to do it again. But that was just me. I'm glad I did both at the same time. Some of the other questions that I had were, a lot of people are relatively young that are seeking out eye surgery. I knew from a young age that I wanted to be able to get eye surgery done. I waited until I was over 30 years old to be able to get eye surgery. I'm 39 now, and I wanted to make sure that my eyes were fully healed before I could actually attempt to mess with them. A lot of people said that if they were in their 20s, your eyes weren't fully developed. There was probably some adjustments that were going to happen. And if they wound up doing the laser surgery before your eyes were fully developed, it would only hurt them longer down the road. So I waited as long as I possibly could before I finally made that move of, I'm going to take the jump and do this. So if you're thinking about doing it in your 20s, wait. I'd wait until you're in your 30s. I think that would probably be the smartest decision. And any reputable place that you're going to go to is probably going to tell you the same. Anybody that's going to go to a place where they're going to try suggesting anywhere from 18 to 25 even, that it would be a smart move to do it, no, they're probably only after a quick buck. Go seek other opinions. That's just my thought on that. Went over cost with you guys. People were asking, I saw a lot of comments in there being like, oh, you paid this much for yours. I got mine done in this country for $600, or I got mine $500 less than yours, or I paid $1,000 more than you did. Here's the thing. Do research. You're always going to find someone throwing a deal out there. You're, looking in different markets where some states and some cities or some countries, the cost of living might be different. And that's all factored into the cost of this at the same time. I live in New York City. It is a very expensive city. So I would only expect that me getting my eyes done here are probably going to cost a little bit more than most other places traditionally would. It doesn't mean that, someone going to Florida or someone going to the outskirts of a suburban town or going to a different country might not have a great experience or might have an awesome experience, depending on the cost. It's just do your research, do due diligence to make sure that whatever you're looking for an end result is what that company can provide you with. So costs, I don't think 100% it means it's a yes or a no for me. Someone said that they paid $600 for theirs. That's really cheap. That is really, really cheap. But, if the place had really good results and it just happened to be in a country or a town where the cost of living was super low, or somehow their insurance covered a lot of it, then great, cool. If you had good luck, more power to you. Awesome. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about the cost aspect on things. Um, as far as my work schedule went, after I had the eye surgery done, I took about a week off of work. Initially, I was anticipating about 3 days. I realized that was probably jumping the gun a little bit too soon. I know a lot of people were asking as far as how long did I take off of work. So if you are planning on having PRK surgery done and you think that it might only be 3, 4 days, just take a week off of work. Just spend the time. Don't do anything, relax, catch up on audiobooks, and just take it easy. There's no rushing something like this. You don't want to rush it. So yeah, that's really it from a lot of the things that people were asking me. Again, we're at 5 years later. I can't believe that it has gone so well for me. Uh, would I do this again? 100%. I think it was probably one of the best moves that I ever did. Um, it has made even my photography, I think, 10 times better, considering that squinting through a viewfinder, I'm not trying to, squint in, certain environments where my contact may fall out of my eye. And, that would happen from time to time. Whenever I went anywhere, I always had contacts on me. I remember going to the beach and going into the ocean and having the contact knocked out of my eye and getting scared crapless over it. Or being at a music venue doing a photography shoot, and it's dark and hazy and sweaty and all the things that your contacts don't necessarily like, and I'm now squinting with one eye closed looking through the viewfinder, and that contact just popped out of my eye. These are all things that just made me realize that why I wanted to get the eye surgery was definitely one of the smartest moves that I needed to do. So I wound up having it done. 5 years later, again, no regrets. I'm humbled the fact that so many people watched the videos that I put out. I thought maybe they would only get 50 to 100 views or a couple comments here and there. I wasn't expecting 30, 50,000, 70,000 views on these things and tons of comments and people hitting me up on social media, asking me questions. So I really appreciate people taking the time to be able to see the videos where I was talking about the reasons why I wanted to get this done. Because again, a lot of the people who, a lot of the reasons why I wanted to get this done and how I found my research was actually because of people's videos that I found on YouTube as well. So this is a great platform for people to be able to search around. I'm sure you'll be able to find some negative reviews and you're going to be able to find some positive reviews. But at 5 years, this was one hell of a positive review. And I am hoping at the 10-year mark, my eyes will still be the same. I don't see them regressing at all. And that's it. Yeah. So guys, I wanted to take the time and thank you again for sitting here and listening to me ramble on for the past 10 minutes about why I decided to get my laser eye surgery and what it's like 5 years later. Thanks again. Take care.